tonight on Colonial Sports Center.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic night of Colonial Sports Center, where despite being April, the cold times have come, but RMU sports has stayed hot. My name is Casey Irwin, joined by Amir Keasley. And Amir, what a great time to be a Colonials fan.
Oh, yes, it is. It's been a great time to be a Colonial fan all year long, Casey.
Amir, but first, we're going to go right into some breaking news, of course, because the RMU softball team just finished up a game against the Youngstown State Penguins. This was the third game of a series of 3 games in the Horizon League. RMU coming into the series, we're on a 5-game win streak and second in the Horizon League. Although RMU had lost 5 of their last 6 games to the Penguins coming into the series, the Youngstown are second to last in the Horizon League. So, Amir, let's look at how this game that just finished up ended. And as you can see here, Game 3, the Colonials take a dominant 10-1 finish right here in 5 innings only. And it started in the first inning when Courtney Pulich opened the scoring, and they never looked back. Madison DeVault, another great game. She had 4 innings, only let up 4 hits and a run. Jess Matheny, you can see 3 RBI triple on that one. Kaylin Hopp, another fantastic game. Amir, this one, a Colonials rout here to close the series out.
100%, and they started with the route as well. But one player to look at, Jess Matheny. She had a 3 ribby triple, Casey. You can't get enough of that.
And it was a fantastic hit and really sealed this one for the Colonials. But, Amir, let's take a look back a couple games because this has been a fantastic back-and-forth series. So let's go all the way back to Game 1 of this series here against the Penguins, the Colonials in Youngstown, Ohio. For this one, RMU looking to keep their hot streak going in the Horizon League starting this series. We're going to start in the top of the first here. It's the superstar freshman, Mary Brandt. She gets a nice single right there, scoring Kaylin Hopp right there, and the Colonials take a 1-0 lead here. Mary Brandt continues another fantastic streak. Now the Penguins they get a nice single right into left field. Littler scores Hardman on that one. The Penguins staying in it now, and the Colonials looking for an answer right here, and they absolutely get it with an absolute bomb by Jess Matheny, who you just said, Amir, has been playing fantastic. Her 3rd home run of the season. She was so impactful this season, and that one was way out of here. Now we stay in the 4th inning. RMU with a 3-1 lead now. This one's hit into right field. It's Courtney Pulich down the line. She's going to score Hop in black, and Courtney Pulich once again finding answers for the Colonials when they need them and helping them seal games in the Horizon League. Colonials now, they keep piling on now. We're in the top of the 5th, and it's Courtney Pulich who keeps piling it on. That one hits the bottom of the wall. She gets her own triple, 2 RBIs, and the Colonials take Game 1, 11-3.
Casey, I'm going to be completely honest. They look great, but here in Game 2, things started to fizzle out. Here they have Kaylani Tatra on the mound, and she delivers a pitch to Taylor Turan, who launched a grand slam to left center field over Jess Matheny's head.
When you get a grand slam like that to really break the game open, it's hard for any team to come back into it. But, Amir, I know these Colonials are not out of it yet.
They aren't out of it yet, and we'll get to that later, Casey. But right here, Tatra's still on the mound, and she gives up a back-to-back homer right here, Casey. That has got to hurt, and Cami Diaz added a solo home run to extend the lead to 7-0, Casey.
Amir, it's a rarity in sports, a back-to-back home run, and it's tough for the Colonials to be in that spot.
But right here, this is where the Colonials get back onto the board. We have Kuch Gianni, who reached on the fielder's choice, which brought in 1 run, Casey.
Amir, the Colonials, they are fighting. Their shirts all say doubt us, and right here, everyone's doubting them to come back in this game.
But not yet, Casey. The Colonials are down by 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Right here, a ball got away, a wild pitch, and that will bring home a run.
Colonials, again, Amir, they just know how to do it, and they're staying in this game, trying to stay close to the top of the Horizon League.
And then Michaela Jardine came in and got an RBI single, which brought the score even closer, Casey. They're beginning to get a little one-out rally here in the top of the 7th inning, Casey.
Their last chances in the Colonials just don't know how to quit, Amir.
But unfortunately, the Youngstown Penguins won this game, Casey. Right here, the Colonials did not go out without a fight, but hey, they tried, and that's what matters.
Yeah, but Amir, their stretch in the Horizon League has been so fantastic, and what a series against Youngstown State. It has to be said, though, maybe they expected a sweep because the Colonials right now sit in second place, and Youngstown State sit second to last.
And speaking of conference play, Casey, the Robert Morris Colonials played against Northern Kentucky at the NAC the other day. The weather was nasty. You know, it was cloudy. The field was disgusting because of the rain, Casey. And I got to say, the Colonials, they did a good job at, getting the Norse and making sure that they couldn't top them in conference play. So let's take a look. So right here we got Jex Varner and first base coach here. Here's Jess Metheny once again. She's all over the place, Casey, but let's get into the game. Madison DeVault started the game a little bit shaky. She allowed, a run here to score. They'll score right there. We got a little shaky throw from Mary Brandt right there. I love the runner to get the second. And
it's a rarity for DeVault to have a bad start to the game.
It is. Right here, this is where we'll have bases loaded. But look, everyone's there. Everyone's on base. Now right here, this is where we're going to break the game open with a nice drive down the line here, and that'll bring home a run.
Colonials, they stay fighting in this game despite their star pitcher with a shaky start.
And they're up 3-1 right here. But there was a deep drive to left center field by Briella Demino, and she can touch all 4 bags.
Amir, an absolute bomb to get the Norse back in this game, and the Colonials pitching taking a few too many hits on this one.
But right here, Northern Kentucky had to knock up the middle to bring one more run in, Casey.
Colonials now, they just find themselves in holes so often in this game right now.
But this is where they get out of the hole, and Caitlin Mala-Torres came in. But Courtney Pulich fumbled the ball, but no, she throws her out. She throws her out at second base, Casey. What a great play by Courtney Pulich.
Fantastic recovery. She slipped, dropped the ball, but gets a fantastic throw in to get the out.
Now right here, the ball's up in the air, but no, she drops it for an error. Casey, that's a routine play which cannot happen, which allows 2 runners to go on base, Casey.
Has to be said that I think the Pittsburgh weather, the gloomy day, had a play.
Then here we go with another drive to the wall. But guess what? Another great defensive play by the Colonials. That is Jess Metheny, who gets the ball in, and they get into a rundown. This is one of my favorite things in any sport that has to deal with softball or baseball. It's just great defense by the Colonials right here.
Amir, that was a cannon by Metheny to get it back in the infield and get that situation going.
But you look who's up the bat? Mary Brandt. Mary Brandt brings home a run with an RBI. And the Colonials, this is where they take the win at because of another Mary Brandt walk-off.
Walk-off right there for the freshman star, Mary Brandt. 2 RBIs on that one, and that's how game 1 ends 6-5. Now we go on into game 2. Right here, the Colonials find themselves down 3-0, but that one's in the corner, and it's going to be a run scored on a flyout right here, and the Colonials get their first run of the game. It's Anna Resnick with a sac fly, and Black scores. Colonials trying to get back into it. A little bit of a late call right there, but she is safe. Now the Colonials once again. This one's hit way back over the heads of everyone. Jardine with the deep shot right there. 2 runs are going to score, and the Colonials tie the game up right here. Jardine with a great hit there. Now, this one's knocked right into right field. Mar Gerald hit it through the gap, and the Norse once again find themselves in the lead in the top of the 6th.
We've seen this before, Casey.
But Amir, this one, we're going to take a little bit of a break here soon because it's going to get rained out a little bit. You can see everyone's coming off the field. There was some lightning striking, so we had to take a little bit of a break in this game. Both teams got to catch their breath and maybe a break for the Colonials. Now, they find themselves in the bottom of the 7th. And this one, it's a walk. The bases are loaded. The Colonials have a chance to win this game with a winning run at second. Who's coming up to bat, Amir? It's going to be Courtney Pulich, who maybe is the worst person to come up to bat if you're a Norse fan, and she bombs that one into left field, and she thinks she's won this game for the Colonials, but it's a fantastic defensive play here, a relay throw of perfection, and Hopf gets thrown out at the plate. Courtney Pulich can't believe it, but Amir, Mary Brandt steps up to bat, and I think you already know what's going to happen here. She's going to knock it into center field, and it's back-to-back walk-offs for freshman Mary Brandt on the same day in the Horizon League. And oh my goodness, Amir, the drama, and the Colonials take 2 wins in this series against the Northern Kentucky Norse, this one 5-4, but the story, of course, being Mary Brandt.
The Colonials have found the diamond in the rough with Mary Brandt here. She's among one of the best freshmen in the country, Casey. I think the Colonials have struck gold here.
Yeah, and Amir, she struck gold once again this week, winning an award in the Horizon League. She, in fact, won Player of the Week, Amir.
And this makes 3 weeks in a row that a Colonial has took home a weekly honor. But right here, Mary Brandt delivered 2 walk-off hits in both games of that doubleheader sweep over Northern Kentucky. And in 3 games this week, Brandt batted .417 with a homer and 2 walk-offs, Casey. That is great stats right there.
Single-handedly winning 2 conference games, that is sure enough worthy of getting you a Player of the Week. Now, Amir, when we come back here on Colonial Sports Center, you won't want to miss it because we've got a big contract extension and a special brand new bonus segment, so don't leave here on Colonial Sports Center.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Wait! Not in the toilet!
No, don't do that. No.
Don't hit your brother! Ooh!
Not again.
What did I tell you about playing in the mud?
Raffy, not so close to the pool. Wait!
Frankie, happy. What are you doing? We told you never to touch the gun!
I'm sorry, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You could have hurt yourself!
Safely store your guns. Unload, lock, and away from ammo.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. We're about to get into some really big contract news coming out of Moon Township, Casey.
Yes, Amir, we're going to the hard one now because, Amir, for the women's basketball team, the brand new head coach this year, Chandler McCabe, had a fantastic year, and she has earned herself a multi-year contract extension.
I think it was well-deserved. She took that team from being projected last to 4th place. They started the year off shaky, Casey, you know. They ended the season by winning 9 out of their last 12 games and going to the tournament, the Horizon League tournament, that is.
Yeah, Amir, this team had a huge turnaround from losing 18 in a row the previous season. This year, they had their most single-season wins in the last 5 seasons. They hosted their first ever Horizon League tournament game at the UPMC Event Center. With all these new players, Coach Chandler McCabe has completely revitalized this program, and RMU made sure to lock her up for a few more years.
Which is a great decision. But now we're going to get right into some other basketball, the transfer portal. The transfer portal has hit the men's team really hard, Casey. And a lot of those players, they aren't there anymore that we've seen from this March Madness squad.
Yes, Amir, it's been constant transfers coming out, but now the last 2 dominoes have fallen. First, a couple days ago, redshirt freshman Mario Hansen announced he was transferring from RMU. He was the last scholarship player from the Colonials Horizon League Championship roster to announce his plans for next season and beyond. This came after the news of freshman Dylan Miller hitting the transfer portal at the start of the week as well. So both of these freshmen leave RMU. After not getting too much playing time this season, they decide to move on to somewhere where they think they're going to get more time. And the Colonials, they are down to just Ryan Prather pretty much left on the roster.
And I think that's rough. I really wanted to see what these 2 freshmen were able to do this season. But now we're going to take a look at how this roster looks right now. We have some familiar faces and some really interesting names here. I want to see what Ryan Prather has to do. He looked really good last year. He came off the bench. He was a part of that rotation. And I really like to see what he had, especially in that game against Alabama.
Yeah, Amir, Ryan Prather is the only real familiar face in terms of consistency and playing time that's returning to this team. He was a big factor, their best shooter on the team. Fan favorite Tanner O'Grady returns as well. Eddie Cook III and Darius Livingston are coming to the Colonials as freshmen, but Andy Toole has been really active in the transfer portal. So far, no commitments, but plenty of contact. Amir, one person I think fans should look at is the Elon grad transfer, Matthew Van Komen. He's a 7'4" center. He averaged 6.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game, which is number 11 in the country. That's a big-time guy to get more size for the Colonials, and maybe they'll get him on the way to starting the rebuild of this team.
Hey, they called Alvaro Folgueras the Octopus. I call him the Kraken. He looks like he could be a force of nature. But now we're going to take a look at some sports talk, Casey. That's interesting because that happened yesterday.
Yes, Amir, Sports Talk in the Berg, another show on RMU-TV, got to talking about the future of this Colonials basketball team. So let's throw it over to Nate Kingston for this one and this special bonus segment.
Thank you, guys. I am Nate Kingston, and joining me is Joey Dramasic and Caden Hyde. This is the bonus segment for Sports Talk in the Berg on CSC. Now, the question is, with college hoops postseason coming to an end and transfers happening, the question remains for the men's basketball team here at RMU, and that is 11 of the 15 basketball players from the championship roster have entered the portal. So, what, if anything, is the saving grace ahead for the next season for this team? Caden.
So I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for the team to bounce back. I mean, last year you brought in 6 players in the portal with like Omajafo, Marion Dickerson, but it's just going to be tough. I mean, replacing 6 players was difficult in general. Like the team did indeed get better from how they were 2 years ago now, but replacing 11, especially with all of those pretty much being rotational pieces outside of Ryan Prather who decided to stay. Like, are we going to see some of the walk-ons from the previous couple of years get on there? Are we going to see Tanner O'Grady getting minutes? Are we going to see Serafmiowski getting minutes? Like, it's just going to be incredibly difficult, especially with the fact that there hasn't been any news of any transfers really coming to RMU outside of the center from Elon. It's just a sticky situation. I believe Coach Toole will be able to help the team come together and pull out, but I think a back-to-back Horizon League championship isn't in the cards for the Colonials.
I think with everything that the transfer portal is now, with all the amount of players that are in the portal right now, I think that it'll be easier to find players that can possibly replace some of the players. Now, Dickerson, Alvaro, it's going to be hard to, I guess, replace them, but kind of find players that will kind of fill their role, as Dickerson was our defensive player of the year.
But I mean, like,
Alvaro
at the same time, there's been no news about it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there wasn't that much news about it last year when we brought all these guys in. Not many people knew who half the players were. We knew who Cam Woods was because he was on the Final Four team for NC State, but the rest of the guys, Dickerson, JUCO prospect, Joshua Mojaffa, I'm pretty sure was a Division II player.
Yeah, when it came out of Gannon.
Yeah, Gannon. So I think the transfer portal, even if we don't get some of the D1 guys, I'm pretty confident that the players in Division II, D3, and JUCO could possibly, replicate what this season was.
Mm-hmm.
With the amount of players that
have
left.
If Coach Toole can do it this past year, I'm sure he can do it again.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm sure
with
his supporting staff
can. With a whole new roster too. Like I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's not very likely
Players are gonna want to come here, though.
to replace an entire roster and develop like an insane amount of chemistry. Because I mean, even last year with all the new players coming in, Folgueras came back. Chris Ford came back, Ryan Prather came back, all players that played a key role on this team. But for everyone leaving and now having to create an entirely new roster out of recruits in the transfer portal with only Ryan Prather being the real rotational guy coming back, I don't know if that success is something that can really happen twice.
See, yeah, but I think that what RMU has now to offer is, after what this year is, it's going to be a good stepping stone to get to Power 4 schools. Of course, I don't like saying that because I am a Robert Morris Colonial fan, but as mid-major schools, especially ones that succeed, they're going to be looked at now as kind of the stepping stones to getting a Power 4 scholarship. Like as we saw Dickerson and a few other these guys, they went from the JUCO level, then he went to mid-major school, and now he's going to USC to play in the Big Ten.
And Alvaro's getting
Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Kentucky's
Omajaffo's getting stuff from other Power 4 schools.
So I think the portal could really kind of benefit us and kind of replicate what the Colonials had this year.
Oh, no, I definitely think that as well. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what pieces Toll can bring in his supporting staff, too, because you need pieces. You need another Dickerson. You need another Alvaro. You need that guy. So we're going to see what's going to happen next season. Now we're sending it right back to Casey and Amir.
Thanks to the boys on Sports Talk right there for that one. Interesting, another note, Amir, Cam Woods, another guy who hit the transfer portal, he earned another year because of the new regulations regarding JUCO, and he has received some offers from local schools like Duquesne and Pitt, so he may stay in the area as well. But Amir, this is a team that's going to go through a lot of change and a lot of turmoil, but it's nothing Andy Toole hasn't been through before.
That's true. We saw a lot of that change last year, going from the quote-unquote Marquise Hastings era there. But coming up next, we'll be taking it down to the Joe to watch some lacrosse.
The death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change, because it just can't be us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. And Casey, we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into some good old lacrosse, Casey.
Yes, Amir, we're going now over to the turf at the Joe, as both lacrosse teams had some action this week, Amir.
I wouldn't say if it's the greatest action, but let's take here. So right here, the Pitt Panthers came in to Moon Township, and I'm not going to lie, they showed why they're a great squad right here. Jenna Henderson had 6 goals. And here's a crazy thing. The Panthers got off to a really fast start on offense by scoring the first 4 goals of the game. And RMU was held scoreless for the first 10 minutes of the game, Casey. They shut that Colonial offense down.
Yeah, Amir, it's been a tough season for the women's lacrosse team here at RMU. And this one, the bigger school in the Pittsburgh greater region, of course, the Pitt Panthers, they just take down the Colonials in this one. Now let's move on to the men's team. They were coming off a 3-game win streak in the NEC, keeping them tied for first in the conference, and now playing against the LIU Sharks. And they take a win right here, 13-9. LIU would open the scoring in the first, but then the Colonials went on a 7-goal streak and really took over this game. From that point on, the Colonials were not really challenged. David Burr at 37 points now after his 5-point game. You can see Luke Prezioso had 6 points. That was a quarter of his point total of the season. He has 24 points on the season now. So the men's team, though, unbeaten in conference play with another big win right there. Their next game is Saturday at home against VMI.
And every time I look at the scoreboard, it's always David Burr. He's been an integral part of this Colonial team, Casey.
Yes, Amir, but when we come back here on Colonial Sports Center, it's going to be that time. It's going to be top 5 plays as well as our games to watch. And Amir, I have a little spoiler. You might want to break out the green jacket. So stick around here on Colonial Sports Center.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Now, Amir, you know, it's every week, you know, we have these things, and it's a great moment because you know what, Amir? New York, pulled pork, don't matter. Top 5 plays. It's that time right now. Let's get right into it, Amir. Top 5 plays of the week here on Colonial Sports Center. Let us get into it. On Colonial Sports Center. Well, maybe in a little bit.
I'll tell you what.
So let's go into our games to watch, Amir. I'll go first because, you know, again, as I said before the break, you know, it's that time. It's Masters season, and of course, let's get in the golf spirit. Why not? I know my jacket's not green. It's gold. That's a different type. Maybe if you've seen Happy Gilmore, they get a gold jacket in that one. But you have to watch out for the men's golf team. They're going up to Columbus, Ohio in this one for Ohio State's Buckeye Classic this Friday and Saturday at the Columbus Country Club. And this one's going to be a tough one. The men's golf team, they've struggled a little bit, but in their last time out, their last invitational, they finished 5th of 11 teams, which is a big improvement for this squad. And in the field of 83 players in that one, Chuck Trigresser of RMU finished 3rd overall with a -1. So he's the guy you're really going to want to look out for the Colonials as you watch over the next couple of days. And then, now, because there's a lot of teams coming here for Ohio State, you want to look out for Hunter Thompson of Michigan, who's coming in. He's the 37th ranked player in the nation, and he's finished with an four under, in his last 3 tournaments.
Well, we're going to take it right from the green, and we're going to take it to the diamond to talk about some RMU women's softball. Now, right here, I think this may be one of the biggest games of the year. I mean, you always got to play hard when you're playing a Horizon League opponent. The Horizon League, it's relatively close this year. And right here, my biggest player to watch is Mary Brandt, Casey. The freshman from Poland, Ohio, right in RMU's backyard, is tied for first with 8 home runs in the Horizon League Conference. She also has the highest batting average in the conference with .402, which is amazing. And she has a really, really good OPS, which it's phenomenal, Casey. She is looking great. But right here, if the Colonials can sweep this series, they will have a nice lead in the Horizon League and in the conference standings. And there's been 2 bright spots of this team, the pitching and the offense. It has been great this year, but there also has been one very underrated factor of this team. It's been their defense. We've seen it earlier today, Casey. Their defense has been pretty all right. It's better than the Pirates, I'll say.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates. There's not something we even want to talk about at all because this softball team is definitely better at hitting the ball than that team. I mean, there's so much firepower in this RMU softball team. They're taking the Horizon League by storm. They're definitely a team you want to watch. And I mean, I know we didn't have our top 5 plays come up, but Amir, I'm going to spoil it right now. Number 1 and number 2, it was Mary Brandt's back-to-back walk-offs. She has been fantastic, as you just said. She has been probably the freshman of the year in the Horizon League. You can maybe almost wrap that up for her. So she's been fantastic, and Amir, it's going to be a great game.
It is, but you know what? I think she can play first base for the Pirates, Casey.
Yeah,
we got a little hole there we got to fill, so I think it'll be pretty good.
We'll see about that, but thanks for joining us here on Colonial Sports Center. It's been a great night for everyone. Thanks for joining us. See you all next week.